fancy.
But yeah, I don't pan that way. That's why I need WASD to pan. I don't. It doesn't work.
Get a new mouse.
Now.
Okay. let's talk about the game. 'Cause you probably don't know what to do. First of all, the year's 1936. We're not at war. It's going to be a while, so we've got a couple years to prepare. So what do you do in a game that's about war? You're not at war. Well, let me show you.
Stream.
So the first button that you probably have to click is, see those little, like just like all other Paradox games, there's those little like notifications at the top.
Mm-hmm.
So there's probably a little pink one that if you hover over it, it says unassigned divisions.
Mm-hmm.
That's because you have a bunch of divisions that aren't part of any like armies. So to fix that, if I can remember.
Shit. That is a lot of divisions. I have 36 divisions. Why is this here?
So am I supposed to click that button now?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what to do. Oh, I remember now. So select an army. You can do this however you want. You can select all your armies or just one army, but select an army. And then at the bottom, there's a little green button. You can click New Army on the right. Little plus button.
What?
I have like little portraits at the bottom of my screen.
Yeah. So the right button portrait, you can take whatever you have selected and turn it into an army. And so
I zoom out far enough to like select all my dudes.
You can select some, and then you can pan over and shift select others. But you may not want more. You might not want multiple armies. So you're going to organize your armies however you want. I'm just showing you how it works.
Anybody on like the Western Russia, Eastern Russia.
I was gonna make an army over there too.
Well, yeah,
right? Yeah.
Separate.
Yeah. Generally, we create armies based on theaters.
We'll need more information.
So you create an army. So now you have an army. The army needs a commander. So when you have that army selected, in the top left, there's a little click to assign button. Click that, and then you select a commander from your list.
Sorry, I selected all my dudes on the Western Front. Then I click one of these weird little general silhouettes on the bottom.
Yeah, the right one that says New Army.
What's the difference between a new army and new army group?
An army group can have multiple armies.
Okay.
So if you have like a massive force, say if you're doing like a D-Day or something, you might have a big army group with like several different armies all invading.
So should I, for instance, I've got some dudes up near Finland. Should I make that its own little army?
Maybe. Let's go through how things kind of work before, because you can reorganize this however you want later. It doesn't really matter. It's just an organizational thing.
Click to assign.
So click to assign. Give it a commander. The numbers don't really matter, but I mean, obviously, like, you can kind of tell what they kind of do: attack, defense, stuff like that.
And what do we pay to recruit these guys?
You pay. So you should have some already, and you don't have to pay anything to recruit those. But if you run out and you need more, you can spend, I think, like army experience or something, which you'll gain as you fight battles, and you can also gain it drilling, which we'll get to at some point. Alright, so you have that army selected, you've given it a commander. You'll notice that it joined a theater. So in the top right, there's a little area now that says, mine says Canadian Theater 1, yours probably says Russian Theater 1 or American Theater 1 or something. You can rename it too. You can click in there and you can call it whatever you want. So I could call it Invasion of America, because I want that to be my theater. And then you have a little army there. So you could also select, so you could create like another army, and then you could add it to that theater. So you could have multiple army groups in that theater. You can have multiple theaters. So, you know, if you want your Eastern, and you're like for Russia, you want your Eastern and Western fronts. They're kind of different theaters, right? So you would probably have 2 different theaters for that. The important things to know about armies is if you select an army, you have that little bar at the bottom, all kinds of things that you're like, what is all this? Well, the most important one is the 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5th button from the left. It's got a little dude and a little plus sign. It's called front line. So if you click that, you'll see that now on the map it's like highlighting your borders. And what you can do is you can left click a border, and they will now pan out across that entire border. When we unpause the game, the little dudes will then pan out across that entire border and create a front line there.
So do I need to paint like So I clicked the frontline button, and then I go, and it seems to have only clicked Poland. Do I need to like paint the whole thing?
You can right click and paint certain areas of it if you only want them to defend a part of a front line. But if you just like left click and it's like the little green thing, then they'll actually pan out across the whole front line that it shows there.
Yeah, it seems to be blinking all the way up to Finland, but there's like a weird blue line beside Poland.
I'd have to see it. You'll have to play with it. You have a few years to play with this in game. Because we're not going to be at war for a while.
We're not going to be at war for a while.
So in general, so let's say you set
You will be.
if you set a front line, the button to the right of the front line is an offensive line, and so you click that, and you can actually like right click and drag, and then that will create effectively. This is what I want this army to do. So if you like so if I set my front line to like the eastern seaboard of the United States, and then I created an offensive line, and I dragged into like DC, and now I have an arrow pointing to DC. So that's my unit saying, all right, we want to attack DC. They're not actually going to do it, but that's their plan. And then they start to build like some kind of number for how prepared they are. At any time after that, you can click the little green arrow button above the army at the bottom, and they'll actually execute that plan and start trying to invade it, as long as you're... That's armies in a nutshell. You can play with the rest of it as time goes on. We'll kind of talk about it bit by bit, but that's just kind of armies. That's not really important for the next 4 years, but figured it'd be interesting to know. Okay.
How do I make a new theater?
New theaters... I think you
There's
select...
a new theater button, isn't there?
I think you select another army, and then you have them create a new army, and then you can like...
Right, if they're selected, it does show up.
Yeah. Okay. So that's armies. We can talk about that later. The next thing that we probably need to do is at the top, on the left of the little pop-ups, there's a research slot available. So you probably have 3 or 4 technologies that you can research at a time.
I think I just screwed something up.
Is
How do
everyone...
I undo a front line?
You can select the army, and then you can...
Is it the
You can either left click the trash can and then click the order, or you can right click and it'll delete all orders that you created. Did we just lose Andrew?
Sounds like it.
He's AFK. I mean, she hasn't heard a thing you've said.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's not. It's weird. It's not. Oh, I think my issue might be that Finland doesn't abut Estonia.
Finland doesn't.
Oh, where did I go? How'd that happen?
Were you listening to us?
It moved me to the AFK channel.
So you weren't listening to us?
I mean, how much
I've
are you
been
talking about?
explaining the whole time.
Well, I wasn't gone the whole time.
Okay. So we'll just move past armies. Click the little research slot available button, which is one of your little pop-ups at the top. Should be the leftmost one. And you should have 3 or 4 things that you can research. I only have 3. I think you guys might have 4 because you're more important than me. And then you can select technologies to research, and you'll have lots and lots of tabs, and you're probably like, whoa, oh my gosh. And this is a pretty cool tab. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. Infantry, tanks. So you need to research tanks before you can build them. You need to research certain kinds of guns before you can make them. There's doc... What?
Is there generally like a... I'm guessing I, as Russia, probably just don't need to worry about the naval tree.
Right, you can probably ignore naval and just don't worry about it. The 3 sections, land, sea, and air, they each have a thing called a doctrine. Doctrine's more like a soft talent tree kind of thing. So you pick a doctrine, and then that will give you something as you go down it. Generally in each tree, well, in the land doctrine tree you can only select 1. I think in the naval doctrine tree you can do whatever you want. Oh no, they're mutually exclusive. Just kidding. The air one's not mutually exclusive. Anyway, that's not important. The 2 most important ones for the beginning of the game are on the far right, engineering and industry. So in order to be able to build all the stuff on the left, you must first build the ability to build them on the right. So The industry tab and the engineering tab are really important early. You'll notice specifically, in fact, if I had to recommend a thing that you do right now for your very first turn, you should probably do construction 1, research that. You should probably research basic machine tools, and you should probably research electronic mechanical engineering in the engineering tab.
Psych! Those are the 3 I picked.
Nice. And the reason being, you kind of look at it, so the effect of construction is it increases construction speed and factory repair speed, so we make things faster. So right now our only purpose in life is to make things. Production efficiency cap. I'll talk about that later, but that basically means you make things faster. That's basically what that means as well. And then electronic engineering research speed plus 3%, which is good, because it means we can research more stuff faster. The years are kind of the relative years that time to research effectively. So if you try to like beeline it to nuclear bombs, for example, you're going to have a hard time because they put like a curve on it. So if you're going ahead of time with research, then it gives you a penalty. Doesn't mean you can't, but it's probably not wise to do that. So that's kind of research in a nutshell. Every some number of days, it'll pop up and tell you have any research to do, and you just do it. All right.
There are a lot of in a nutshells.
Yeah, there's a lot to this game. It's a Paradox game, but it's great. You're gonna learn it. You're gonna love it. All right. So the next one, free civilian. So what you're going to be doing for the most part of the game is you're going to be dealing with factories, and you're going to be producing equipment to prepare for war. So you have free civilian factories. That'll be your first button. So right now, you have a certain number of civilian factories that are available to you. So in the construction tab, or if you click the free civilian factories button, it brings you to the construction tab. You can use those factories to do something. The reason the civilian factories are useful is because they help you to build more civilian factories, or military factories, or naval dockyards, or any of the other things you see here. What you probably want to do at first is focus on building civilian factories, because the more civilian factories you have, the more you can build everything else. So you kind of want to snowball that for a few years.
Hold on. What's civilian?
Civilian factories are the things that are able to build anything in this tab. So you have the number equal to...
Wait, so he clicked the construction tab, and then...
I'm on production. Why don't I see what you're doing?
Yeah, go to construction tab.
What is construct? Where's that?
Shortcut T.
It's the little digger thing at the top, beside the gear.
Did you just say... Oh, digger.
So,
Like
so
and
in the...
subscribe.
And then you want to click the construct civilian factory button. Is that right?
Yes, and then it asks you where you want to build it. So you're limited to how many you can build based on your land capacity. You can improve this over time, but...
Okay, hold on. You said click the civilian factory button.
Yeah, so if you're in the construction tab on the right, there's a little...
10,800.
Yeah, so that's just a measure of time, basically.
What?
So click it, and then like left click a territory, and then you'll see... so I click mine, and mine says Northern Ontario is where I'm building a factory.
Full different color.
By the way, you generally want to build them where you have the highest infrastructure. So when you've selected to build them and you see those percentages, the higher percentages are where you want to build them, because they're the most effective.
So not Wyoming.
Probably not Wyoming.
Unless you want to make Wyoming a hotbed.
I do.
Each thing that you tell it to build, it is only going to be able to build, it'll be able to use up to 15 of your civilian factories at a time to do that. The more factories on the job, the quicker it gets done. I only have three factories. I am not going to be a very useful person to you in this
So I
case.
see used factories 15, max factories 15. If I click another one, it says used factories 9, max factories 15. So I can increase and decrease amount?
So the top left number shows how many factories you have and how many factories you're using. So mine's 13 out of 13, but like I said, I only have 3 factories available for building stuff. That's because you're in a state probably called like a civilian economy or something. So for the most part, civilian factories are being used to build consumer goods that benefit you in no way whatsoever, but in theory benefit your citizens. You will be able to change your government policies as the game goes on, as the situation becomes more dire, and take control of more of those civilian factories. But you can't do that until like there's a number called world tension until that rises. So anyway, you should probably build as many civilian factories as you can until you've maxed out your construction factories. I can only build one.
Max amount.
Yeah,
Should
I don't know how many
or
there.
do you want them built faster?
I mean, do it
It's
the
like
most.
I have 26 out of 44 used.
Yeah, so do that until you're using all 44 of your factories. You want to make sure you are always using all of your factories.
So does this queue them up?
Yes.
So I could just keep queuing up.
Yes, and you can also click the little plus button, and it'll try to make as many as it can. But yeah, as a rule of thumb, always be using all of your factories. Because if
this
you're
is
not
why
using it,
Why don't I just queue every single one up?
you could do that. But there's a point where you want to stop building civilian factories and you want to start doing other stuff. Just at the beginning, you're trying to ramp up your ability to produce.
So like, it's just interesting. Moscow, I started building one, but I had room for two. It can only build one thing in a province at a time. It can't
That's
do
correct.
Simultaneous. Okay.
Yeah, so you'd have to select like another province to build a second one at the same time.
Right.
The other things that you can build here, so you can increase the infrastructure in an area. So the number where I said it's better to have higher numbers, you can actually build more infrastructure. That's on this list. You build anti-air capabilities, air-based capabilities, military factories. We'll get to what those do in a minute. Naval dockyards, and then other stuff that you should just have to look at. But for the most part, you're going to be mostly focusing on civilian factories, military factories, and naval dockyards. Alright, so the next thing is, let's use our military factories. So go to the production tab, that's shortcut Y.
What's a naval dockyard? I don't have any.
You should have, wait, who are you again? You're America, right?
Yeah, I click on it.
You have
Then
tons of naval documents.
I think it gets highlighted. Oh, are they in the...
Everything
Oh.
it's all in the production tab. So if you're in the production tab, you have
So it
access.
says Virginia 8 of 8, meaning I've got 8 of combinations between military, civilian, and naval dockyards. And other stuff.
Maybe, I don't know what you're looking at.
Well, I'm in the construction tab.
You're in the construction.
Yes, I'm in the construction tab, and then I clicked civilian factories, and I started maxing out all these things to get the plus 60-70% bonuses. But if I go to naval dockyards, I have to build them in the same limit.
Oh yeah, everything shares that same limit. I should probably mention that. Yeah, there's a limit to, but you can increase the limit by building more infrastructure if you ever hit the limit.
What
So
do you
infrastructure.
mean they exist within the same limit? What is that? What do you mean?
So you can only build as many civilian factories in an area as that like number is. So like 6 out of 8 in Ontario. So, but that number's shared across all buildings. So I can only put if I put 2 civilian factories there, I can't build a military factory there.
Yeah, so you don't want to necessarily build your factories on the dock line. Or
Right.
the coastline. Sorry.
Yeah, it is worth noting that you can convert military factories and civilian factories back and forth between each other. There's a little button at the bottom. It costs production, but it doesn't cost quite as much if you need to later. Anyway, if you go to the production tab, that's the Y button. This is your main
That's
tab for producing.
Critical knowledge.
In the production tab, this is
Making
pretty.
a lot of stuff.
This game is basically about, can I produce enough crap to have a war? In the production tab, you have the ability to produce your war stuff. Guns, tanks, planes, boats. You use military factories to build your tanks, your planes, and your infantry equipment. And you use your dockyards to build ships.
Hold on. Production?
Yes, that's the Y key shortcut.
Seems like a good game for Andrew. Seems like a min-max game.
No, I hate min-max games.
You're like the most min-max person I know.
Only
Listen up.
Only in certain cases. Mostly related to trophies.
So,
What's this crab?
what's what?
There's a crab button.
There's a crab button?
Yeah. You can find it on your own, but
Crab button.
Okay, anyway, so in the production tab, this is where you produce your
Right,
your
yeah.
stuff, your guns.
I had some free military factories that I already assigned to.
Right, so you can probably see how easy it is to assign factories. Like if I want to build more military infantry equipment, I just click higher buttons. If I want to assign, like you can click the ×5 and ×10 to like really up the amount of factories that you're putting towards it. I have almost no factories, so I'll never be able to do that. But basically, you want to build a bunch of guns, you want to build a bunch of support equipment, and then you want to build a bunch of anything else that you want to utilize. So the safest thing that you can do is build infantry equipment and support equipment, because your bread and butter is your infantry. That being said, you're going to need a lot of planes, and you're going to need, well, I don't know, a lot of whatever it is that you decide to do.
Oh, hold on. Okay, go on.
In general, the way the war will work is that if I have a front line of soldiers and they are fighting and we're at a front line, that line is not going to move as quickly as it would in like EU4. Like the front lines, they move kind of slowly.
Now, when does the dice rolling come into play, like Axis and Allies?
It happens during those battles.
Oh, I was trying.
Behind the scenes like EU4, but there are dice rolls and there's all kinds of math to it if you want to learn
Can
it.
I have a question.
Sure.
So some of the bars here, like it says, I'm going to make 41.54 infantry equipment per day.
That is a lot. What's wrong with you?
Now, but if I go down to like planes, those bars are green. If I go to planes and like motorized, whatever that means, looks like a truck. Those bars are like kind of a tannish brown.
So, oh crap.
Naval dockyards.
I do have some ships that I'm assuming I mean, why?
So there's two things that could be affecting the numbers.
I'm just curious about the colors. Is there a reason they're different colors?
So if they're yellow, so if they're green, it means we're good. We're gonna create this many per day, and everything's gonna be fine. If they're yellow or they're red, it means we don't have enough resources to build this efficiently.
We don't have any rubber.
If you really need to build it above everything else, you can actually drag these things to the top. So like if you're like, I need tanks no matter what, drag it to the top, and then it'll use those resources first.
Okay.
The other thing that gets affected is there's like a little production efficiency thing. Like if you see support equipment and then just like look over to the right, there's a little bar. That's just the longer that you build it.
Just go AFK again.
Where'd my Lego go?
Why does it keep moving me to AFK?
Wait for
The chat.
keyboard.
Oh, why? I'm literally here.
Production efficiency is just the longer you build something, the better you get at doing it. And if you stop building it, you lose your production efficiency. So it tries to incentivize you to focus on building one thing and one thing well. To get more resources, so at the top you'll see the resources that you have and then the resources you don't have. So if it's green, you have a surplus. If it's 0, then you're flat even for your demand. And then if it's red, it means you're lacking that resource. We'll talk about how to get those resources.
Who wants to trade with me?
Yes, you can trade with each other and get.
I need rubber.
Trading
Yeah,
is.
Can I have all of your rubber? And
You
then
have
sell it to
30
Russia
for
at a
rubber.
higher price.
We need the Dutch East Indies to help us out.
America has an absolutely incredible amount of resources.
Except
Dutch
for
East, but the Dutch East Indies do have a lot of rubber. That is true. Okay.
we have 900 available convoys and require 11 for this trade.
Make sure that you also build boats. Boats work a little differently. So when you create boats, you can actually design a hull if you really want to. I think they've kind of defaulted a few hulls, and you can just select those for now for ease of use. But if you really want to get into it, you can click like create variants, or you can create your own version of like a destroyer or something. You can actually assign the guns and the engine, and you can really get into it. But
Hey, I see this national focus that says America First. How do I just go straight to that?
so that's the
Also got
next.
one that says Annex America.
So that's the next one we're going to look at. So click the national focus button and zoom out. Take your little mouse wheel and zoom out, and you'll see, oh my goodness, you have a ton of national
Why
focuses.
is this not easier to navigate?
I actually don't have that many.
Like, why is this? Who designed this UI? I need names.
So what you need to do is you need to pick. So this is the part where you have to just do that. You have to pick the national focus that will lead you down a pseudo historical path. It doesn't really matter if you're super, but for example, the United States should continue the New Deal. If you do that, you're probably going to stay on the right path, unless you go down democratic socialism. Don't
I
do
was
that.
going to say that was exactly what I was looking at.
Yeah. So as long as you don't go far to the left to democratic socialism, and as long as you don't reestablish the gold standard and lead yourself into the America First route, which leads you into fascism, you'll
Literally
be fine.
what I was trying to say. What I wanted to do.
Yeah. So you should continue the New Deal, and then from there it's up to you. As long as you don't.
Why can't I go to the War Department?
Ready.
It's a focus.
You could do that.
So I've got War Department, War Plans Division, and Continue the New Deal. All of those are separate?
So continue the New Deal is going to help you, because I don't know if you've noticed, Andrew, but you are an incredibly powerful nation that's incredibly crippled at the moment. So if you right click your nation on the map and you look at your national spirits, you have something called the Great Depression. And it is costing you daily political power, which sucks. It is decreasing your resource gain efficiency. It makes your recruitable population halved, and it.
I right click and I see none of this.
Oh, you might need to click your. You need to click your flag at the top left. That's how
there's
you'll see it.
national spirit. Oh, so you hover over that. Okay.
That's how I have to right click yours to see yours myself. But. So basically, the Great Depression is like hurting you a lot, and you need to get out of the Great Depression. And so, if you look at those focuses, the way to do that is to continue the New Deal, and ultimately going to war will make it go away. But you can lessen the effects of it through these national focuses, and you should find which ones those are. Oh, you can search the national focuses now. Oh, that you could not do that a year ago.
What's this thing on the bottom left? Continuous focuses? Okay.
That's like if you're out of focuses and you don't have anything else that you want to do, you can just click this and it'll give you that forever. But you shouldn't do that until like the end.
Like plus 20% for all this stuff? Minus 10% production costs? Like, why not just start with one? Or is that just ongoing? Like, the rest of these are research-based, like I see, like,
I think
completion
that's
time.
ongoing.
So, I know it says continuous and all.
Remains active until you change focus again.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
can I,
It's like you also can't do it immediately. You have to unlock 10 focuses first.
Oh, yeah. Suppress subjects. Hey, good.
Oh yeah, you should also not suspend the persecution, which will give you daily communism support. Don't do that.
Your regular focuses are also very strong.
Yeah, I mean, continue the New Deal is going to give you a ton of political power, which is good. Then WPA gives you political power. An extra research slot and only 3 focuses. That's pretty cool.
So, it still says on my player card, no national focus. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah, so make sure you select a national focus. That's important. That's the main thing you're going to be doing in the early game. Is every 60 days or whatever it is, you'll be selecting a national focus.
So, this division designer. This is not something I want to deal with.
Fortunately, you can't yet because you don't have any army experience.
Well,
Yeah.
so there's no divisions in basic training. How do I get rid of that?
We'll talk about that in just a second. Sorry, I'm selecting my own
So if I,
National focus.
as Russia, focus on my middle tree, it seems like it ends in war with Germany or war with the UK.
Yeah, so don't wait, what did you say?
Like I have a middle tree that branches into anti-fascism or anti-capitalism.
You probably need to do anti-fascism, right? That would make the most sense for historical. I think the first thing you do is the Great Purge.
See that over here? And I don't really know what that is. I'm assuming Brent can tell me with his history knowledge.
What?
Who is
Stalin killed like a ton of his generals because
Who's Trotsky?
suspicious of him.
Trotsky is Stalin's like biggest communist rival. Like he has a lot of political support, and he has to escape Russia when this happens.
And so-
or he might have already escaped Russia.
Yeah,
by
it says
now, I
he
don't know.
hasn't returned.
He should
Yeah.
be in Mexico.
Yeah, he goes to Mexico. You can actually make him your leader as Mexico.
Yeah,
Just-
can I? What if I want to be Trotsky?
you'd have to play as Mexico.
Obviously.
Not too late.
Or, no, right here it says permanent revolution. Trotsky has returned. Current ruling party is communist. Is not at civil war.
Oh, I think there is a way to get Trotsky in Russia, but I don't know how. That's
So-
probably something to play with, not in our first game.
All right.
Oh, I have to go down the Great Purge first.
Okay, so a couple other things, kind of basic, but if you just like look at the top of the map, you have political power as your first number. This is a thing that you're going to use a lot for decision making. So if you click
Okay.
the decisions tab, you can use political power
0.
to do stuff.
What do
Yeah,
click?
you don't have any right now, probably. But then the next number is stability. So stability gives you whatever it says when you hover over it. It's not just something that you can buy and get in this game. You have to make decisions that increase it or take national objectives that increase it. The next one, war support. So that's the amount of your country that supports the war. And the higher war support, the more options are open to you in your national objectives to go to war. Which is how the political situation is handled. So the United States is going to have to struggle to get war support, whereas the United Kingdom is going to get it pretty quickly once Germany starts attacking European countries. And then I kind of mirror. Okay. The next one is manpower. So the manpower in this game does not act like EU4. I mean, it kind of does. You do get like a natural influx of manpower, but it's like very small, right? Because this game is only happening in 5 years. It's not like you're having that many babies that turn 18. The way to increase manpower in this game is to conscript more of your population. And how do you see that? Where is that number in this?
Your manpower.
No, your policies. The interface has changed. Oh, there we go. So if you click your flag in the top left, this is like the basic political things about your country. Under laws and government are kind of a few important ones. So the first one is how much of your population can be recruited. So mine's currently volunteer only. I don't know what yours is, but that's effective. That's the effectively I get a pool of manpower equal to 1.5% of my population.
What did you tell me to click?
The flag at the top left. I think America's a disarmed nation, if I remember right. They only get 1% of their population right now.
And I'm guessing you have to move up this ladder sequentially.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I
if-
can't. If I have 300 political power, I can't buy extensive conscription without first buying limited conscription.
Well, I think extensive conscription includes the price of limited. Like if you had limited, extensive would only cost 100.
Whoa! Plus 25%.
Yeah, scraping the barrel. You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is how you'll increase your manpower as the game goes on. Export focus, the next one on the right. I don't know what yours is. I think America's probably free trade. This is not as like manpower. Clearly, the more manpower, the better. Although there are downsides to increasing your manpower too much. This is more like how much of your how many of your resources like do you lose? Like you create, it's like trade, for example. If I'm trading with the United States, if you're free trade, then 80% of your resources go to the market, which means you, as America, only have 20% of your resources to use for military purposes, and the other 80% of it is available for trade for people like me who want it. Does that make sense?
I didn't listen.
So free trade is it has some benefits. It gives you a 10% increased research speed, which is great. 15% factory output, blah blah blah. But it also says you have 80% of your resources go to market, and that's a bad thing because it means you only have access to 20% of your nation's resources for military purposes.
I have a ton of resources.
You do have a ton of resources, so it may not really affect you for a while. So you want to stay in free trade as long as you can because of the research speed bonus.
Where do you see resources at?
That's only 10%.
That is...
Just to go to export focus, just cutting research speed.
Where did that go?
Yeah.
Oh, it's under the trade button. So in the trade button, you can see how many resources you have, what you extract, what you're importing. So you can import by clicking a country and then asking for it. The way trade works is like if I want oil from like the Soviet Union, I click that I want oil, and then what happens is some of my civilian factories are used in order for me to obtain your oil, and then you actually get my civilian factories. So you get a benefit from me trading with you.
All right. So basically, every option here is a menu that contains additional menus that may or may not contain additional menus, where each thing is important.
Yeah, it's great.
Okay.
All right, so back to the flag button. So we did export, focus, volunteer, and then civilian economy. So this one is basically how many of your factories are able to be used by you, and you do want that to go higher and higher and higher. But you'll see that it's
all of these are the same for people. Like
civilian economy, early mobilization, partial mobilization,
prescription law, trade law, economy law, and then there's what? 3 political things.
Yeah, the rest of this entire tab is just like people you can hire, and if you just hover over them, it'll tell you what they give you. So I wouldn't focus too much on that.
These 3 things are the most important.
Yeah, these 3 things are the most important. The rest of it is just I have political power. Let me see what I can spend it on.
Oh, and I own Philippines.
Yes. Alright, so that's mostly it. We did briefly talk about the possibility of doing setting up division templates, but I wouldn't worry.
Should we be
Philippines,
setting
then?
political advisors and stuff? This is all going to cost.
Yeah, that's gonna.
So I
just give us buffs to our.
I just got to the Philippines focus tree, and it looks like I can set this. Is that
Really?
Yeah. Is that?
That's news to me. I didn't know you could do that. Is that Andrew?
There he goes again. So I should go ahead and select the Great Purge because it says if I don't select that,
Oh man, it kicked me out again. I don't. This is stupid Discord.
Yeah, you should probably
Go into
select the
Civil
Great
War.
Purge.
Okay,
Yeah.
done it.
No, you can't select them. You can just view them.
Yeah, it looks like I can only view it. It does say no national focus set.
Yeah, when we unpause, they'll select a national focus.
Okay.
And you can probably just see theirs because you're.
I got them.
Yeah. You're puppet.
Okay, and with that, let's play the game.
It's not even close to it. Alright, so how do I do trade? What do I... So I'm on this, let's say chromium. See, so I see Soviet Union has 177 export out of 177.
So if you click the Soviet Union, you can basically you give them a number of your civilian factories, and then they'll give you chromium. So you lose that many civilian factories that you can use.
Impact Mike in particular.
He gets your civilian factories.
So I'm looking at it and it says this deal will use factories currently constructing buildings. I just deal with it.
Yeah, so your buildings will construct a little slower if you do that. And Mike's buildings will construct a little faster because he'll have access to your factories.
I need convoys for this?
Yes,
So
you
do-
should have convoys.
I have tons of convoys.
Do
But
we buy in sets of 8?
Buy what?
Like I need
chromium and rubber, right?
rubber, and
Rubber
it's like it's buying in increments of 8.
Rubber is 8 for me. Yeah.
Okay. Per civilian factory.
Correct.
Okay. I just
Well, I don't know why I'm answering that.
okay.
So, do I want fewer convoys?
Convoys, you just
Do I want
use
to
them.
use fewer convoys, or do I want to say to get chromium trade with Soviet Union so that Mike has the benefit of
I would not worry about convoys whatsoever.
Do we need to build more convoys?
I would probably build.
Any more civilian factories before I need
I would probably build because, like, what I usually do is I just have like 1 or 2 naval dockyards set to build convoys all the time, because you use them for trade and pretty much, and I believe you also use them for troop transports, and they will start getting sunk once you are hostile. But
So
we'll
is
talk
that-
about.
Yes, I should then trade with Soviet Union so that like reaps the benefit of an extra civilian factory.
Or with me.
Yeah, there's no reason for you not to use your convoys right now, especially right now because you're not at war, so no one's gonna sink your convoys.
I might.
Interesting. UK, you seem to have some available
I am gonna flail
rubber.
the Dominion of Canada at you.
All right, I'm gonna unpause and just let it play at speed 2. It's not gonna hurt us. We can still talk about the game.
Panic.
Yeah, I'm panicking.
Everyone
All right.
panic.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna pause it for a second. The first thing everyone should do. You don't have to do this, but it drives me crazy. Go to game options. Go to where is it?
How do
Video. Turn off the stupid day-night cycle. How do I turn that off? Oh, it's not in the options. It's in the bottom right. The little map. There's a toggle displaying the day-night loop. Shortcut in. I hate that thing. All right, now it's off for me. You should turn it off. I just unpaused it.
Oh, I've never seen it on.
Why wasn't turning off? Oh wait.
Ooh.
I had a question. Oh,
You're what?
I have, it says I have outdated equipment in production. How do I fix that? It looks like it's a plane.
You need to produce more modern equipment, and it will automatically.
How do I know if it's newer? Do I just click it and then pick from the thing that pops out to the right?
Yes, if you click produce build aircraft, the things that show up by default are going to be newer aircraft. You can click the little checkbox at the top, show outdated equipment, and that'll show you older planes that you shouldn't build anymore. But you might still have.
Is this it? It just says needed for upgrades. 469 needed for upgrades.
Yeah, so just start building that thing that you need.
It says, I'm confused. It says fighter 1. It has an arrow beside it and says needed for upgrades.
So go to your production tab and build fighter ones.
Well, that's what I'm doing, but then what is it that I'm building that's outdated?
Probably
A Series
interwar
V. It says right here,
bombers?
Series V Shushka.
Okay,
That
it's some plane that you have that's considered a
Oh, it's a
downgrade
boat.
from the
I'm
fighter.
gonna just stop building that then.
Other than that, let's see, what else can we do here? So there's a lot of other stuff that we haven't talked about.
Should we have somebody training? I don't have
That's
any divisions in basic
understatement.
training.
Oh yeah, let's do basic training. Okay,
I have 163 civilian factories.
Oh, I also have another question, so I'll let Andrew, you go first.
yeah, you should have a ton of
It's
factories.
just a statement of confusion.
I am pink in color.
My army is 104 divisions out of 24.
Okay.
It's red. Current penalty 100%.
I see a lot of Canadian troops on the U.S. border.
I just didn't know if
They're forming a battle line.
that was
How do you
bad or
see
not.
this?
He's my
Should-
puppet.
Should I break that down further or put somebody
I don't
above
see
them?
anything.
They're very well hidden.
Wait, sorry. Say that again, Mike.
My big army on the Western Front is 104 divisions out of 24 divisions, and it says its current penalty is 100%.
Oh, right. So armies don't. That's why you want multiple armies. An army is only effective up until about 24. So you want to split them into multiple 24 size armies and probably put them in one army group.
That changed. Garrisoning armies now are up to 72.
Oh,
Okay, so can I
Okay.
just... Is there a split army button?
you could select it and hit S, I believe.
Yes.
It selects half of them, and then you can click New Army, and it'll create a new army. That's the easiest way to do it. You can also select it and then just like start clicking, like shift clicking in the army and select whatever you want, and then split it out.
That seems hard.
Yeah, I usually just like select all of it and then S, and then New Army, and then keep doing that until I have the size armies that I want. I'm gonna unpause it.
So I have
Two is pretty
35
slow.
unassigned divisions.
Yeah, so you want to make sure every division is at least assigned to an army of some kind.
Really? So I'm going through and what am I doing? I'm just clicking.
What I usually do with America, I don't know how to select all armies at once. That's the real challenge. I think there's a button for it. But I try to select them all. I put them into one big army, and then I put them on like...
The top right underneath the clock, there's an army button.
Oh, there it is.
Okay, so all of these are unassigned except for one.
Can I unassign a division from an army?
So
Yes.
they're all like laid out in different areas already though. Like I've got 2 in New York, 3 in Boston or something.
As America, I usually take all of my armies, put them into one really big army, and then I like move them all into one place, and then I start organizing them because
How
the
do I
game by
do that?
default. So like what Brent said at the top right, there's a little
Yeah.
army overview button.
If
Which
you
is
hold
cute,
shift
right?
and start clicking, it'll let you select multiple. Make sure you
Oh, but what am I doing with it?
just select them all and move them to one place.
How do you move them?
Right click,
Province or state or something.
like an RTS.
And so then I could take
None
all
of this makes
these
sense.
guys and make a big army.
Did someone pause it, or did the game slow down?
It's paused. Should I, Princey, if I have all these armies on the Western Front, should I make them all underneath one dude?
It's up to you. I generally try to make things as easy as I can.
Does that make it easier?
Yeah, as long as you're not getting that penalty, which I think it'll tell you if you're going to be penalized.
So
Does anyone mind?
Each army, Mike, can only have one order. So once you actually get into combat and you start wanting to attack, like multiple directions or something like that, you want different armies. But
Can't I assign this guy to be the field marshal? Does he literally have to have the field marshal title to be the head of this dude?
I think so, yeah.
Oh. None of these guys are good.
I'm going to unpause it, because honestly, time's moving so slowly. Beyond that, let's see.
Why's his portrait gray?
You also have boats and planes, which we haven't even discussed yet. Wow, I have 2 boats. The Royal Canadian Navy, 2 destroyers.
field marshals are like a theater as a whole.
Yeah, I think that just happened to me. Field marshals, I think they command army groups.
So navies, so the way navies and airplanes work in this game. So armies make sense. You create front lines. You can see them on the map. They fight other armies. Territory gets changed as they progress. On the flip side, boats and planes target areas, and then you get reports of what happens in those areas. So, if you were to click the naval map mode, which is in the bottom right, the three main map modes are Default, Strategic Navy, and Strategic Air. If you click Strategic Navy, you'll see that you have a theater, and you'll have fleets with your boats. America has a lot of boats. UK has a lot of boats. Russia probably doesn't have any boats. They probably have some boats.
I think I've got 18 boats.
I have a lot more boats than I do. You'll see at the bottom you can select missions for your boats. There's no reason to give them any missions now because you do have a finite amount of oil.
The bottom? Where?
Like
Of what?
Like if you select like a boat squadron thing in the theater,
Oh, I see now.
yeah, you can say, hey, patrol. You can tell it to do a strike force, and you click that button, and then you can right click sea zones, and you'll see it like highlight. And then now it'll start doing those things. Oh wow. Okay. You don't really need to do that right now, again, because no reason to waste the oil. But when war starts, you'll want to do that. It's just a quick overview of sea.
These are all historically accurate boat names, I bet, and they mean nothing to me. I don't have any idea what any of these things do.
I'm pretty sure
I've got a
America.
lot of boats.
Start calling them out by name.
Chernomorskiy Flot. Chermanosrsky Podonia Flot.
So, in the air mode, you'll see that it highlights your airports, or whatever they're called, air bases. You can select planes, and then those planes can do something based on what they are, right? You've got bombers, fighters, and I think naval bombers.
So wait, there's a bunch of so are all the little plane areas places I can put planes, and only the ones that pop up with a little radius are where planes are?
The radius is the radius those planes can operate. So you can't, if you had a bomber, for example, you wouldn't be able to bomb the middle of the United States because your range isn't at all far enough.
And it's the United States.
That's very buzzy.
I moved it.
The same thing kind of works for planes as it does for boats, except for some reason the little bars at the top left. Don't know why. But you just click one of those buttons, like air superiority. That's just good to have. It means that enemy planes aren't affecting that area. But you select a mission at the top left, and then you right click a zone, and then those planes will operate in that zone.
Hey, you didn't explain decisions, did you? Oh man.
Decisions are just a way to spend your political power.
You have 4.
So
Earlier you said we shouldn't worry about doing missions with boats, but should we go ahead and do these missions with planes?
probably not. Again, it'll waste your oil, and there's no reason for you to be patrolling or to be trying to get air superiority because you're not at war.
Okay.
When you are at war, that's when you're going to want to engage your boats and your fleets.
Well, you might
For now-
have experience.
Yeah, okay, so you can get experience.
See pilot exercises.
Right, so you can do exercises. Now that will use resources, and you will have to build more planes probably, and stuff. But it will give you naval experience. The same goes with your army dudes. In fact, I forgot about that. I'm going to start working my army dude. So like if you select an army, you do click to start an exercise with this army on the far left. They will become useless in combat. They will start to gain experience. Which is good. You can recruit more dudes. There's probably no reason to recruit more dudes for a while, because it just wastes resources. You can if you want, I guess, but
So is this a solved game?
what do you mean by that?
Like, if I just Google what to do as America.
I mean, there are some strategies that I know that you could follow, and you can become very, very powerful as America. But you're going to be very, very powerful as America anyway.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Wow.
Yeah. I might attack the Ottoman Empire.
That's not even...
It's possible. I could do
It
it.
could probably be forward.
I think you're right. I think they can be formed.
How do I steal blueprints?
So should we be drilling an army?
Yeah, you should probably drill your armies. It's important.
Can you like drill an entire army group?
I think so. It will use resources, so you're going to have to make sure that you are producing enough guns and support equipment. And in general, you want a surplus of things like infantry equipment and support equipment are like your bread and butter. And you really want a surplus of them, because once the war starts, they're just going to start getting
How do I
damaged.
drill?
Select the army, and then on the far left, battle plans, there's a little button for exercising the army. Looks like two crossed,
Oh, I
like
see.
swords.
Can you only do one at a time, or could you have all of them doing it?
You can have all of them do it. I like that the province of Virginia includes West Virginia. Like if you click
Yeah,
Virginia.
it does.
So is there a downside other than just consuming equipment?
Nope. It's a bigger downside for doing it with boats and planes, because you might have to repair the boats and build more planes, and that costs a lot more resources.
So, for instance, I just have all my armies on the Eastern Front moving over towards Manchukuo to fortify that front line, whatever you want to call it. Can I tell it right now to start drilling, or should I wait till they all get over there?
I think you can tell it to start drilling now, and it'll just start doing it when it gets there. I need a drink, but I will use my headset this time.
Looks like they're still going that way, so okay. Cool. I'm gonna take Finland. Screw those guys.
You got a lot of money now?
Unless you have something
I
What'd
think
you
you're
think?
doing fine.
What, Brent?
to do.
Why is-
If you have a national focus, it's going to let you just destroy
On
Finland.
price.
Do I really?
Probably. I mean, Russia did attack Finland.
Far East fortification. Improve the Stalin line. Claims on the Baltic. Oh, let me see if I can search Finland. Finish the 5-year plan.
What is the diplomacy button?
Dude,
What does that involve for me?
Diplomacy is a useless tab.
Where are these
Just-
places? Claim on Karachi.
It just tells you what people think of you, but it's not really important.
I don't think it gives me. I don't think I have a thing that gives me a claim on Finland, Brent. I just searched Finland and nothing came up. Finland gains communist pressure. That's about it.
I guess I have financial friends trying to
Yeah. I can demand Eastern Poland, which I will do.
That's probably what it is.
What has that got to do with Finland?
Oh, I thought you said.
Question.
So are we just chilling right now, letting stuff go?
Yeah. Yes, Andrew?
So I am in my trade tab.
A lot of my little units have red skulls over them.
Mike seems more important.
I don't know what that means.
It says they're affected by attrition.
Oh, you probably have too many units in one area.
Okay, Mike, it's your claims in Baltic and Baltic security. Well, maybe Baltic security. Claims in Baltic.
Oh, are those cities like in?
Yeah.
Is one of those like the capital? I just assumed to say claim on Finland, but I figured are those like capital cities or something?
They're like provinces.
Okay.
What was your question, Andrew?
So I'm looking at trade here. Hovering over civilian factories, I see basically 133 civilian factories are used to produce consumer goods. But we have a total of 125 civilian factories. Meaning I'm under 8, but then it says leaving us 25 available for trade. First, that number doesn't match up with anything.
It should.
Can
Can I see your factory?
How can I see how many armies a zone can support?
Actually, I can see exactly how many factories it is.
162.
What you saying? It's like,
How can I see how many zones an armies a zone can support so that I can try to fix this attrition thing? What?
like it's attrition level.
Yeah.
Good question. Let's look at my own product, if that might help.
So maybe I should back these armies up off the front line if they're just going to take attrition.
Yes, sir.
They're doing jumping jacks.
It's based on the infrastructure. So, if you hover over infrastructure, no capacity.
Can drop a nuclear bomb.
With the intel screen, it's a lot different.
Is it based on the fact that it's the winter?
Wait, what are you trying to figure out attrition?
Yeah.
I mean, like every unit I have is taking attrition. Is it because they're
That's 'cause
training?
They're trading.
Okay.
It is based on infrastructure. How to tell?
What is this?
How do you tell? I know I've had to figure this out before. Oh, I see. In order to see how attrition works, obviously when you're training you're getting attrition, and normally you click on an army, those little yellow bars, that's how well they're supplied. And it will tell you how well they're, and that's a factor of infrastructure, because how fast can they get the supplies to you, as well as your stores. Do you have the equipment given?
So now that I've got all these guys training, I should go to my production tab and see or how do I tell if I'm making enough, even with all these guys training? Is that somewhere?
Oh no. Everyone get this, or just me?
I don't know. I didn't get a pop up.
The
I got
Germans
a pop-up.
remilitarizing the Rhineland.
Oh, really? Only you got that pop up?
Is that bad? What does that mean?
It means the Germans have advanced
Hold
into
on,
the
one sec.
Rhineland.
Which one's the Rhineland?
It's between France and Germany.
So they're starting the war already?
Yes, I think it is, right? West of the Rhine. Yeah.
The war is not starting, but that is the very first thing that they.
The French seem content.
Yeah, this is the beginning of
I'm
a peace.
negative. So I'm running at a deficit. If I go to the logistics tab and things are red, that means that my training is using them faster than I'm making them.
Probably, yeah. I think you have a severe lack of resources in Russia, and you have a lot of people. So it might not be a good idea to train everyone all at once. I paused it, by the way, so that you can select your next national objective.
Thanks, dude.
What does modified government mean?
What does a modified government mean?
Yeah, it's a pop-up. It says you can change theorist, political advisor, chief of
No divisions in, what does it mean, no divisions in basic training?
It means you're not recruiting
Recruiting
any
people.
divisions. Unless you have the supplies to support it, I wouldn't bother.
Should I be doing decisions?
I would probably spend your political power on your government tab for now to hire political advisors and stuff. Because there's pretty good ones tab.
Okay. I'm gonna run till Declan good night. I'll be right back.
Okay. Forgot how long it was going to take to explain how this game works.
You've explained about 7% of this game.
I know.
So I did the new national objective. Or, what's it called? National focus. Where do I see that again?
Click your flag. At
Flag.
the top right of that screen.
So, this gave me 150 political power when I started it.
When you finished it. So you continued the New Deal, and you got...
Oh, so that was 150. Okay.
Yeah.
So at this I can get a new political advisor, you recommend?
Yeah, probably.
That's valid. Actually, maybe I do need a jewel beetle. Or is that where I have 13 decisions available now? I assume those take political power.
Yeah, the decisions are good in a pinch, but I would focus more on your political advisors at first. Because they're going to affect you the whole game, whereas the decisions are usually temporary.
Decisions available, modify government. But like, I could. I could go to export focus now, for example.
Ready!
I would stay on free trade because of the research bonuses that it's giving you. Because you don't need your resources.
Yeah, so speaking of resources. Oh, here I see. Daily fascism support. Check.
Yeah, don't recommend that. If you want to destabilize your...
Alright, I'm back.
Alright, hold on. Why?
What'd I miss?
You're going AFK again.
Why does it do that? It's terrible.
Ready, sir!
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that America has an entire mechanic centered around Congress, but I'm sure you'll figure that out.
Yeah, I see that. That's terrible.
Worthless.
It is worthless. Alright. So, trade tab. I've got... So these resources don't stockpile, right? These are just... I see fuel gets full. Is that it?
Yeah, the only resource that stockpiles is your fuel.
So I'm sitting on 500 fuel left for export.
Yep, it doesn't do you any good to have it, but there's nothing you can do about it other than
There's-
change your policies.
So I can't like force others to take it
Nope.
in exchange for stuff.
Nope.
So I've got 168 aluminum that nobody's taking.
Yep.
Okay, so why?
Has everyone selected their national focus? Can I pause? I'm
Wait.
unpausing.
Do a new one yet, but
Wait, you haven't selected a new one?
mine takes like 200.
What is this? The remilitarization of Rhineland.
Ah, so I already got that.
Oh yeah, I did get it. Oh yeah, Mike's isn't done yet.
Based on time for news to travel.
It is no more than the Germans walking into their own backyard.
Oh,
Oh, it is
Jesus.
everybody.
Addis Ababa.
Oh, Italy just took a
Addis Ababa.
Yeah.
Well, I probably should have been looking
Gosh,
at
I'm
Africa.
still losing too much. How am I still losing? Not making enough infantry equipment.
Come on!
I don't have that many. Okay, alright. You guys stop training too. We'll only train one army. Wee. If that's too much, then we screwed.
Ready to move! All in!
Yeah, I'm still not. I need to stop training everyone.
Don't forget to research new things when you're researching.
So if I'm not training
Ready to
anyone,
move!
should my logistics all be green? Like I should not be losing. Right?
If you're not training anyone, your logistics might still not be green because you might have used if you might have lost a bunch of resources.
Oh, it's going to level out over time. They still got to get there.
Correct. Wow, you use a lot of resources in training bleeding infantry equipment.
Right now I'm making infantry equipment. I'm getting back to green.
All from like no army experience.
And light tank, I'm negative on my stockpile. What does that even mean?
Means that you have a tank division somewhere that needs more
Undersupplied.
tanks. Yeah.
Oh, now I'm negative up there too.
So I can start my atomic research now.
Go for it, dude.
How I'm making so much. Oh, light infantry is fine. But we have a huge deficit.
You lose it.
I am 25,000 in the negative on my infantry equipment stockpile. Like all my dudes are undersupplied to start with, I guess.
I think the UK has my favorite objectives.
So, should we just keep going down like the electronic engineering until we get to like 1938 and then stop?
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. You generally want to push as far as you can into construction and industry and stuff.
Why did you request these? What do you want?
I need infantry equipment.
I don't have infantry equipment.
Well,
Maybe, let me check.
you're supposed to be my parent.
Yeah, well, you're supposed to produce stuff. Yeah, I still need 10,000.
Dude, I'm experiencing something called the Great Depression right now, man.
Can I request some from you?
I'm at negative 5,000 infantry equipment.
You really?
Yes. I should probably
Have
stop
some
training my
infantry
units. You just gave me. Oh, you gave me 10 daily. You're so nice.
What, daily? Monthly?
Thanks,
Are you
dude.
sure it was daily?
I don't know.
There's no way that was. Give me my stuff back. Where you at?
I'm in Canada.
Oh man, I have such a deficit. This is terrible.
Deficit of what?
Of like I am 25,000 negative stockpile on infantry equipment.
You are the country what? The guy in front of you dies and you pick up
Yeah.
his gun and keep going.
But I mean, I guess they just start the game that way. There's no way I burned that much.
Yeah, you do not have a lot of equipment. That's kind of your thing. But you have so much manpower.
Who cares?
But I'm saying that's not because I was training. That just was. It started negative.
But the training does not help.
Yes, so I stopped everybody. At least I'm making a surplus every day now. It's just going to take forever to fully supply everyone.
Okay, I'm gonna stop training too because I'm getting like no military experience and my this is bad. I only build 13 infantry a day.
Need to go. Oh, I've almost got a civilian factory done.
Nice.
So I don't need orders assigned to these armies.
Nope, not right now.
We're just waiting for stuff to happen.
I can turn it up.
I don't. How?
We need to.
Desperately trying to figure out my navy during this downtime.
Okay, I'll keep it at 2.
Maybe I can make the Great Red Fleet someday.
You didn't really speed your ships. That's probably a thing.
I have 2 destroyers.
How do I? You tell me how to do it, and I'll do it. I've got 23. Oh no,
Tell him how to do it so we can do it.
I mean, I think part of the problem is that Mike is communist and you're democratic. You don't technically like each other. We just team up to beat Germany.
Well, is there a way to make Russia democratic?
Like, I don't think we can form an alliance with. I think at some point they're at war and we're at war and we decide to.
It's the enemy of my enemy.
Yeah.
I don't think I can become democratic.
So I've got this thing that says there's a timeout. It's in the decision. Second London Naval Conference. That's happening in 22 days.
Oh,
Am I supposed to do something with that?
yeah, that's like this thing. After World War One, all the countries got together and decided not to build big ships anymore.
Oh yeah, and Germany totally screwed.
And that ends? Is that?
You have to renew it every once in a while. I forgot what it does. Just
But I can't actually renew it.
I don't have it, so I can't read it right now.
Hmm. Interesting.
I only have 15,000 power. Let's see. United States has 220,000. 252,000.
Oh, I also have that thing, Andrew. Second London Naval Conference.
Yeah.
I guess when you said London, I should have realized. It had something to do with me. Where is that? Ooh, demand reduced Dutch trade with Germany. Will they do it? Where is that? Do you see it, Andrew?
I don't. I only see, under naval treaties, I only see withdrawal from the naval treaties.
Okay, so what's the deal with it?
But hey,
I've got bombers in reserve. Should I move those out? As well as motorized.
So it sounds like something we already signed that's about to run out.
That's what I'm assuming.
Yes.
Very little information about it though, and I've got a flag there about it.
Oh man, the focus tree is so much nicer.
Should I be making? Oh. 433. I think that went down. So whenever I build enough fighters, because it says fighter 1 needed for upgrades 433. So once I've built 433 of those, will it automatically upgrade, or then am I going to have to do something else?
The planes, it should automatically upgrade as it builds them. I think.
Oh, that's where the consumer goods come from.
What's the next thing that should happen?
What is it, 1936?
Or is anyone actually fighting yet?
No, the game's going really slow right now. I should turn the speed up, but I've got it down right now for all of us.
Yeah.
So the
Probably
Germans
That's a positive
should...
one.
What? They should annex Austria.
We can see what they're doing right now. They are. Oh no, we can't see what they're doing. They got rid of that.
Well,
They
we see
did
their,
work.
their early things they can do.
That's
Whoa,
true.
how did they get that weird little area above Poland? What did that used to be?
They've had that.
But what
That's-
is that?
Oh, with like Danzig, or next to Danzig.
Yeah, to the east, in between that and.
Isn't that what Russia owns now?
Oh, I think you're right. It's like weird, like little.
Not like that whole region, but a
Yeah.
tiny little sliver of that. Is it Kaliningrad?
I wonder how they got that. Like in.
How they got that German territory?
Or how
I've
the
got
Germans
one
got that
guess.
territory.
Oh, how the Germans got it?
Yeah. Do they start with it?
Like, why do they have it post World War One?
Yeah. Why are they starting this game with that territory? Or have they already gotten it in this game and we just didn't notice it?
They did. They start the game with it. I don't know how they got it.
Wait, Czechoslovakia is like a weird shape for a country. I guess Austria kind of is too.
I think it's because of the mountains.
Czechoslovakia doesn't exist anymore, right? I don't think it does.
I think
And I don't think Yugoslavia exists anymore either.
Czechoslovakia is the countries of Czech and Slovakia.
Yeah, you're probably right. I think Yugoslavia is like Croatia and gosh, there's a couple more down there I can't think of.
What's going on?
Is Austria still a thing?
Yeah,
Is it still that weird shape?
that exact shape.
Alright, Princey. Concentrated industry versus dispersed.
Concentrated for your purposes.
And that's just
Or-
because we've got higher factory output.
Concentrated is generally better, but it means that they're more susceptible to bombing.
Mm.
But you're America, no one's going to bomb you.
No one's gonna bomb me either.
What about me?
You're probably fine. I don't know. You're so big. I don't know where your industry is. I assume it's on the western side, though.
I assume he just has none. Oh no, Andrew, we're probably supposed to do something on that.
Limits to the size of battleships.
No, I don't agree to that.
I don't agree with that either. I think So I think the decision would have been to withdraw from the naval treaties. So if,
I didn't see an option to
Yeah.
withdraw. Oh wait, it's still there. Withdraw from naval
yeah,
treaty.
that's still there. But now this
Okay.
one says completed.
Okay, so we
Yeah,
just can't do it yet.
It ticks every so often.
What ticks?
I think you get a chance.
To do what?
Oh.
I mean, I assume I can withdraw at any point.
Yeah.
Oh, once 20% world tension. How do I see world tension? Is that 3%?
Oh, that's the Earth button. And you can see who caused the world tension.
Mike.
I like how Italy produced less world tension than it caused by conquering Ethiopia.
Well, they were out of control.
I don't know if I should
Had
go
to be
with
stopped.
dispersed or if I should go with concentrated.
It doesn't probably matter that much. I think I always pick concentrated.
I'm gonna go dispersed just to mix it up.
I have 136 destroyers. That seems like too many.
You are
Oh,
like
look
the greatest
at that.
navy, right?
I have not that many.
Portugal is such a big tree now. I'm gonna have to play Portugal. That'll be...
I have 114 destroyers.
I think Spain has a new tree as well. Expansion. Holy cow! Spain has a massive tree. What else we got? Does Greece have a tree? Nope. There's just not. I think France has a new tree.
Wait, oh, I just lost. I guess I need to make a new field marshal because I must have just killed him in these trials.
Oh, that's awkward. Wait, did he actually die, or did he?
He got removed. I'm guessing. I'm just kind of randomly picking those, so I don't really know if. I'm picking the one that doesn't end in. If it says Civil War, I'm like, no, let's not pick that one. So wait, are these the Baltic states? Latvia, Finland, Estonia?
Yes.
Then what are the other, like Poland, Bulgaria, Romania? I thought those are the Baltic states.
Those are the, well, you just listed a bunch of inland states, but Baltic are the ones up by Finland. Balkan are the ones by Greece.
I believe you have
That
the
explains
ability.
why I've always gotten them confused.
Very similar.
So like Yugoslavia, Bulgaria, Albania are Balkans.
Mike, you might be able to justify a war goal against one of them and declare war on them early.
Which
I
one?
think. I don't know.
What is it? How do I see my war goals?
Right,
Be
right.
careful attacking Poland. You can screw up the whole splitting of a Germany thing.
Oh, I'd rather split it.
But like, try right-clicking like Latvia or Estonia and see if you can justify a war goal.
Justify war goal against them. Estonia, yeah.
Yeah, so you could, if you wanted to have a little mini war, go attack them. Right now is the best time to do wars because there's no like once world tension rises to a certain amount.
Yeah, I can do Estonia, Latvia, I can do Finland. I mean, if it's green, that means I can do it, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
In the regular game, once world tension hits a certain amount, and you try to declare war on someone, the allies will just like join them. So you join World War II.
So should
as
I
a
take
result.
Finland? Let's do it. Screw the Finns.
I hope you don't lose your first war against a tiny.
I mean, I've got a 12 division army up there. Is that good?
I think you need more than 12.
Split off one of these other ones to go up there.
You can look at their intel. You can right-click them, and then there's like a little intel ledger. You can see. Looks like they have between 3,000 and 4,000 manpower.
National
Just-
focus completed.
Alright, I've got 36 divisions to conquer Finland.
Looks like they have between 10 and 27 divisions. From my perspective, you probably have a better intel than I do.
Oh wait, no, okay, hang on, I'm doing a front line against them. And then how do I... Are they moving? How do I see if they're moving?
Once you set the front line, they should start automatically. See
Yeah.
them move.
And will the other one redistribute? I don't... Oh yeah, I see them moving now, okay. Okay, so will the... Now you said to look at their intel, what do I do?
Right-click the country.
Okay.
There's an intel ledger tab,
Oh, I see that.
and then there's a total army intel button. The second tab over, and then you can see total
Says
number of
not-
divisions.
10 to 27.
Okay, so you have the same intel as I do. They have somewhere between 10 and 27.
Okay, so I've got my guys redistributing
Come back, Andrew.
up there.
Thanks.
Now, should I start should I go ahead and start making a plan now, or should I wait till they get there?
Yeah, you should go ahead and make the plan, and they'll start from there.
All right.
You should-
Offensive line.
Yes.
Now, what is staff office plan? Is that different than just offensive line?
What?
I clicked so I made a second little army group for the Finnish front. Alright, and so I've got like a field marshal over 2 other dudes. Are those abilities? I guess those are like abilities, I bet, for that general. Yeah, it looks like it. Force attack, last stand. Okay, so I'll just do offensive line.
Yeah, offensive line is the plan. You have to right-click and drag. Tell them generally, here's what I want you to do.
Okay.
When the war starts and you're able to, you click the little like green checkmark arrow button, or it might just be an arrow button.
I remember when I played this game the last time, I felt like I always screwed this part up. It says I gotta establish a front line, so I guess these guys have to get up there first.
But I mean, you have a while until the war goal gets.
Oh, I gotta start that now?
Oh, you haven't done that yet? Yeah, you
No.
should start that now.
Conquer. No war goals, select 1 to 5 states. Which states do I want?
I don't know.
Brent, what are the good Finnish states?
Ah, of course. I hear Karjala is nice.
It makes sense to take the ones that are adjacent to me, right?
Yes. Although Usima has the most manpower.
Okay. It says I can do 5 up to 5. Should I do up to 5?
Sure.
Probably the only difference is like world tension.
Hey Brent,
Yeah.
should I do Pajama or Sala?
Do Sava?
No, just Sala. It's like it's a little
don't
state.
do Sala. Come on, dude.
Well, it's just gonna. That's just
You're
gonna.
right.
wait.
It's gonna create some border gore. Take it.
Okay.
So I ordered a purple mattress.
Should I take Lappy? If I don't take Lappy, then I can take Pajama.
Purple
Yeah, that's-
mattress.
That's good. I'll do that.
Yeah, have you
So now-
never seen them?
Didn't you just get a new mattress?
Literally purple.
No, I've been using like a $150 mattress from Amazon for like 4 years.
When you got a new one, like 2 years ago or last year.
So
Did you say
How-
4 years?
I got a new one like a year before I met Mary,
wait.
and it's a
Prince-
double.
I think this happened instantaneously.
Oh, you're right. It may have.
Oh my gosh. Ah, I gotta make the plan.
That means you have until it tells you it expires to declare the war. Sorry, I
Control.
forgot. I just assumed it was like EU4.
Soviet Union is justifying a war goal against Finland. Where do I see that? How do I see what I'm doing?
Oh no, you haven't justified it yet. It says you're expected to finish August 16th, 1937.
Okay, well, how do I see that?
Click your flag
Okay. Did it?
and you can probably right-click Finland and see it.
Well, yeah, I know I could do it there. I was just trying to see if there's another way to get to it.
I can see it by right-clicking you, but what happens if I right-click myself? Oh no, you can right-click. You can probably right-click yourself.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay. Cool. Alright, my guys are getting there. Hurry up, guys. We gotta take Finland. About all this Finnish goods we're gonna get. I don't know what they make in Finland.
Trees. That's
All,
Norway.
all those trees.
Who knows?
Just accumulated that sweet, sweet IKEA money.
I feel safe when I look at the United Kingdom and all of their armies.
Dude, I am protecting you so hard.
Wait, who's Princey again?
Canada.
Canada. Oh, I can't see what's going on over there.
You don't want to. Canada's really bad. I have two military, two
Remember that time we were
civilian.
playing Princey and I played Australia and you played the Philippines?
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
Third abdication crisis. Should I abdicate this?
Who?
Yes, that's the historical option, is to have him abdicate.
So that's what we're doing. Gain base stability +5. Can't do.
It is fun to not abdicate, but
What happens?
you can. I think you can make him the king. You can make Parliament step down.
Interesting.
Yeah, the UK has some pretty interesting.
Kind of like the idea of ruling with an iron fist.
Let's see if I can find it. I think you have to select a change in course. And then the King's Party. Oh no, wait. Maybe abdicating the throne was the non-historical choice.
I thought he did abdicate the throne.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Yeah. You're right. That is the Brent did it right.
That's good because it was the only like positive choice.
Right, but you could do the King's Party on your tree if you ever wanted to have fun. And then you could go down and do God Save the King. So much fun. I love that one. National Spirit Imperial Conscription, which grants non-core manpower. Just like go whole hog on the imperialism thing.
Because it's not going to be like India. It's literally going to be all this African stuff.
I don't know if you can still do it, but there used to be a way to abuse manpower. But only if you conquer China. Well, I mean, you could do it with anything, but it really helps if you conquer China. You could, like, conquer China and then make them like a puppet state, but they have so much manpower, and you could actually like have them create divisions for you that you control.
Actually, so it looks like yeah, most of my manpower still does come from not England. God save King George.
Okay, guys, distribute. Russia's big.
Yeah,
It's a while to get places, huh?
yeah, it's pretty big and cold. Not
Oh,
exactly
no.
good
Oh, no.
terrain. What is the name of the mountain range in the middle of the soup?
It's the Urals, right?
The Urals. Yeah, you're right.
Wait, are those the ones you're crossing?
No. I accidentally just screwed up my entire deployment. No. What is going on? Don't do that. This is what I ran into last time I played this game. Like, none of the buttons make any sense.
Where are the Atlas Mountains?
Do I right-click or left-click to set a front line?
Left click to set a front line. Right click to set a like
All of-
battle.
All of my troops are now moving away from my front line. This makes no sense. What is going on?
They are in Northern Africa.
They're still moving. How do I get them to cancel a movement?
Select them and hit H.
Mike, I can't believe you raised the world tension 14%.
That was selfish.
That was selfish.
Yep.
We totally did. That's awesome.
Do what I can.
Boys, let's do some naval exercise. Oh dear, my oil is depleting fast.
I have so much oil you could borrow from me.
Gimme.
Oh god. So
Get
much.
your oil. Trade, probably.
I've got 600 left for export.
Oil. So if I just, because it doesn't show me as having a deficit. Oh yeah, it does. So, whoa, need is high. So it would cost me 1 civilian factory to get 8. Sure, why not?
Do it. Do it.
Let's see what this does to my demand.
Trade influence.
Did you get any kind of like notification when I did that?
No. I was even staring at numbers, and it just glazed over me, so I didn't see anything.
Once I have more factories, I will buy more from you. But I don't know how many civilian factories do you have? Oh, that's right. I can look. 100. Wait, you used to have 160 something, didn't you? I have
See.
153.
Huh?
54.
I don't know where I can find that.
If you right-click your own country, instead of diplomacy, you got an intel ledger.
Ah.
Oh, should I?
I have 154 civilian, yes.
39.
Huh?
Once he said I was powerful.
That's because you have a large influence. You have a massive navy. You just don't have the production capacity that the sleeping bear does. Sleeping
I don't have
giant,
the
sorry.
capacity to run my navy.
Yeah, so, borrow some oil or declare a war on Iraq or something. Or Iran, I think, has a bunch of oil.
Oh, not a
Sweet.
bad
Can I do that?
idea. Let's see. Justify
Should I s-
voltage to 100%. Okay, Mike, kill a few more Balkan people.
I haven't
It
even
looks like
started.
Iran has a lot of oil.
Should I go ahead and have my planes start flying missions in Finland?
Yeah, how do you see that? I see they have a base 150 oil.
So yeah, you should probably start doing that.
So,
Mike.
which one do you suggest?
Air superiority is kind of the base thing that you want to do, because you need air superiority in order to succeed with other missions.
Okay, so I clicked air superiority, and then I clicked Finland.
You have to right click them, and they have to be in range of the airbase that you're at.
There's.
Hello, you.
So wait, I pick the airbase?
There might be some in a package downstairs.
I've got fighters, naval tactical bombers, and naval bombers. So I have to pick each plane individually.
Yeah, so air superiority is the base for making sure that you can do stuff. Close air support will assist your divisions in ground combat, so it'll help you win ground battles better. Bombing will bomb enemy buildings, infrastructure, and industry, so it will basically destroy their buildings.
I think I have it set on no retreat.
And then interception is like, I just want to kill other planes.
I think I've got it all set on. All of my planes are set on air superiority. I think.
I mean, I would make some of them do like close air support. Ground? What is it called? I immediately forgot the word.
Do I need to split my air wings then? Split them.
Yeah, close air support, because that will actually help you win battles, whereas air superiority just prevents their
It
planes.
won't let me do the air superiority or close air
Bye,
support.
Andrew.
Oh, I guess tactical bombers do close air support.
And I guess we should probably stop in a few minutes.
Yeah, probably.
Nationalist Spain.
Oh no.
That's a good war on nationalist Spain.
That's the Spanish Civil War.
Oh no. Wait, so.
Did Boba come back in?
What?
Okay,
I have
so-
troops- No, I don't have troops in there. It just looks like it when I say now.
Did you know that? I'm pretty sure this is true. Did you know that UK has Gibraltar even today?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I finally have the offense.
That's a nice place.
Because they were especially worried about leaving the EU.
I got some pictures there with a monkey on my head.
Oh, I screwed this up already. Dang it.
How
How do I cancel an offensive line?
That's a
Oh.
good question. There's a delete button.
Oh, dang it. Oh, man.
So what's the purpose of civilian factories?
Okay, Princey, can you pause it for just a second?
The purpose is to build more civilian factories. To build more factories at all. They also help you trade, right? You use civilian factories to trade. You can also use it to build other buildings, such as more infrastructure, more air bases, synthetic refineries when you enable those, fuel silos.
How do I get the
I guess I
entire...
have time before I need to kill people.
How do I get the entire offensive line to come in from, like, multiple places? Instead of all coming in at one spot.
You would have one, you do it per army, so you'd have one army where you tell it to go in one way, and then another army to tell it to come in from another way.
Oh, I figured that the big army field general dude would take care of that problem.
You could also take the offensive line and make it really wide. So when you right click and drag it, just drag it like across the entire back part of their country.
I did.
And then now the plan is they will all come evenly from all directions and try to make their way to the other side.
I've only got it coming in one way, though.
The arrow may look like it's only going one way, but look at the actual line that got created, and that's really where they're going to be headed.
Okay. I'll just
How do
try.
I-
So it is planning now?
Yeah, you can enact it anytime you want, but the longer they have to plan, the more effective they will be.
Okay,
but
so
it may not matter if you
pause it
like
now.
overpower them completely.
How do I tell how far along the plan is?
You hover over the little execution button,
It doesn't seem like it's doing anything. Estimated plan value is 60%.
Yeah, that's probably good enough.
Division is still preparing, minus 20%. So
I wouldn't
if
I wouldn't put too much emphasis on that aspect.
So if I wanted to do this, what do I do?
Declare war.
Do I right-click Finland?
Yes.
Wait, why? What am I even?
Right click Finland, declare war.
No war goal. It says no
Not
no
anymore.
war goal to justify a war declaration.
Soviet Union is justifying war goal. You have to wait until August.
Oh,
16,
it
August
still hasn't
16.
finished it.
Yeah. So after
Oh,
August
I'm gonna
16th,
wait for like
you'll
another
be able
year.
to. Oh, does it say 1937?
Yeah.
Oh,
Dang.
okay. Yeah, so it's not gonna happen tonight, probably.
Can I speed that up any?
I mean, I can turn the game speed up.
I guess I should go ahead and start justifying wars against Estonia and all these other places.
I wouldn't recommend that.
Oh.
You see how you generated
Oh, world tension.
world tension? If you go too high, I mean, granted, you do have like the entire Allied forces on your side as humans, but France will still probably start freaking out on it.
Yeah, but what are they gonna do?
It's a fair point.
I mean, Russia did attack Finland.
That's true. But did they attack Finland and Estonia and Latvia all before Germany started taking stuff?
I don't think they did attack Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania at that point in time.
Hey, I just finished my national focus.
Sure, national.
Oh dear, Soviet command has suffered greatly.
Oh man, what happened to
That's
you?
not good for Mike.
Yikes!
Minus
I'm
10
sure
research.
purging all his generals is a good thing to do before a war.
Yeah, you know.
If I
Division
remember
organization.
correctly, this war against Finland went swimmingly.
Now, how do I get rid of officers purged? Is the real question.
Don't mind if I do. Man, my research speed don't be so fast. Y'all don't even know.
Y'all know. How do you tell?
Just because everything I'm taking is research speed related. I just encouraged a bunch of German scientists to come to England. We'll be building, hydro weapons in no time.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to call it, or gonna keep going?
We should call it. I'm going to sleep.
Okay, I just saved it.
I can sit here and y'all can play with me idling.
I don't know how to save it.
I don't
already
understand
saved
how
it.
to get rid of this. It doesn't say.
Andrew,
Let me
give
do something
this
really
a
stupid first. Oh. Where's declare war?
Mike, it will remove itself on July 29th,
Screw everything
1940.
Oh, it goes away.
That's
The
why what?
officers
Yeah.
purge thing.
You couldn't screw
Yeah.
everything up even if you wanted.
Boo. Boo.
All you can do is slowly fail.
I don't know what I want to do next.
Done. I've moved all my ships and units to the Sahara Desert.
For all we know, you've done nothing but build naval factories and build submarines.
My son's bad?
Well, I'm saying nothing but subs and naval factories is bad.
When I
mean,
played Germany, I built
subs.
nothing but subs, and I decimated the entire UK Navy. And I was like, man, subs are broken. But I'm sure they've patched that by now.
Oh, see? So, subs isn't an entirely poor choice.
Except
Done.
for you decimate the enemy subs.
Are we exiting the game now?
Yeah, I've got it saved.
Am I supposed to assign commanders to fleets too?
Yeah.
Oh. Alt F4.
Is that actually how you quit things?
Didn't you have so much fun, Andrew?
All the time. That's exactly how I quit things.
Now, can you please look at these scripts and please make my transition better?
I mean, if I understood the scripts. $10 off
I got my
Lowe's
new webcam in
Southwest
today.
Grill? What? That's amazing. Everyone, if you have the Moe's app, $10 off a Moe's order
When?
through the 14th.
I'll have to tell Olivia. Maybe we will risk that.
Wrong, Doug.
Dude, wrong book sounds so good.
It does. It does.
Alright, well, it was good playing with you. I love you all.
Adios,
ever, Prince.
amigo.
Woo!
Oh wait, am I still streaming?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. Bye, bye viewers.
Bye.
Love you.
Bye.